Disney changed all of their snacks. What are we gonna do? Let's avoid the FOMO with 5 simple tips. Hi friends, I'm Laura Kromzak with the Disney Slowdown, where I'm going to help you plan your magical vacation with your special needs kids. Slow down, savor the moments, avoid the meltdowns, stay on budget, and have a great time. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the budget thing, but also about the meltdown thing. Because Disney invokes all of those emotions, and they really can create that sense of, I have to have it, right? That FOMO, the fear of missing out. Oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever on the whole planet and I've got to have it. And then they go and they change all their menus. Did you catch that? A couple weeks ago, they changed like 32 menus across the properties. And here's just some things that you need to understand about Disney. The first tip to avoid FOMO is to understand that Disney equals change. They are changing things all of the time. So when you see something either in the parks or on a vlog, or you had it once before and you're like, oh my gosh, this is still there. That's great. I can't wait. When I go back next year or in the fall, I'm going to have that again because it was so good. And then they go and change it, right? It just happens. So you just kind of have to accept that and don't buy into all of the hype. I know it's hard. The second tip that I would give you is to go ahead and write it down. I have a spreadsheet that you can use. There's a link in the description box below. You can go ahead and get your own copy. It's your own little planning tool. And you can write down all of the things that you see that you're like, oh, I'd really like to try that when we're there in Disney for our vacation. Tip number 3, though, is to investigate your plan. Because just because something looks good doesn't mean that it actually tastes good. And I love watching Disney Food Blog because they are very honest about every item. They don't take anything for free because they want to make sure that they are giving their honest opinion. And they have several people, and they're in the parks every single day. So as soon as those 32 menus changed, they were all in there eating food. I'm not doing that. I don't have any desire to do that. And even when the food comes back after it's been taken away, sometimes they change it, and that's disappointing. Like last year during Flower and Garden Festival at Epcot, they had these fried cinnamon roll bites, and they were best of the fest on the Disney Food Blog. And I was like, I really want to try those. And we did, and they were amazing. They were filled with a cream cheese frosting, but they weren't super sweet, which was great. Now, not every time that I had them. One time I ate them by myself, but I think I ate them like 5 times, and they were the best. They came back for this year, Flower and Garden, and they changed them, and the inside was just like cinnamon and sugar kind of syrupy thing, and it just wasn't as good. We had them once, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm done with that. So even if they bring them back, or they kind of sort of bring them back, sometimes they ruin the whole dish just by doing that. So make sure that you know what all the vloggers are saying about this item that you just absolutely have to have, because sometimes you can say, all right, maybe not. It looks really good, but we're going to skip it. And I can tell you that the list will come in handy, especially if you have it in your Google Spreadsheets, which is what mine is. It's a Google Spreadsheet. I took my daughter to the Sci-Fi Diner for her birthday, and there was a really cool looking dessert, and it had a lot of promise of big flavor. I actually did investigate it before we went, but I forgot that I'd looked it up, and we get there and we're like, oh yeah, that looks amazing. And when we got it and we started eating it, I was like, okay, wait a minute. So I went back onto my Disney Food Blog, onto the website, looked for it, and they had said, no, this was not great. But if I would have had it in my spreadsheet, I could have gone to a quick reference before we ordered it, and we would not have ordered it again. Lesson learned. The fourth tip that I have for you to avoid FOMO is to be realistic on the amount of food and sugar that your family can consume. A lot of these Disney treats, these must-have, Instagrammable, they taste amazing treats, are so full of sugar. It's really hard to get through several of them. On my solo trip, which if you didn't see, I will link it right here. That was my first time that I'd actually tried to eat several items all by myself. And it was not easy. Most of the items in Disney are going to be shareable because you get a little taste and it's like, you know what, that's good because you want to eat multiple things, right? That's what you want to do. You want to try all the different things. That Gaston cinnamon roll, girl, you don't want to eat that by yourself. I mean, the good thing is it comes in a clamshell. It will sit in your park bag really nicely on top of the popcorn bucket. But that's not something that you just sit down and eat in one sitting. You will be sugar comatose. But you want to make sure that you're not over planning your food or maybe having a hit list of the items that you absolutely have to have. Some things that are like, okay, I'd like to try them if they're there, and other things you want to make sure you keep them on your list and say, do not do it. So you know, if you come across it and it looks really good, you're like, wait a minute, I've got it on my list. Oh no, that's in the absolutely no category. All the vloggers say it's garbage, even though it looks amazing. Trust them. They eat every single thing. But I see a lot of people talk about going to the character dining especially. They're really expensive. And the food has gone downhill. Completely downhill. It used to be amazing. It used to be like top-notch table service, fancy restaurant. Oh, and you're dining inside the castle. And you get to meet Beast and Belle and maybe some other princesses. And now it's like you're dining inside the castle and you're meeting these characters. The food is just, you know, there. And that's really what a lot of the reviews are. A lot of the vloggers are like preempting their reviews of the atmosphere. You're there for the atmosphere. You're there for the character dining. So if you're going to some of these table service restaurants and you're like, the food's going to be amazing and we're going to get to meet all these characters and we're dining in this amazing location, you're going to be disappointed because the food is like here. Maybe there. Maybe it's not even on the grid anymore because they're doing a lot of shortcuts, prefix. You're not ordering a specific meal. It's just very commercialized. I know it's sad, but you know, we're finding that across the board. Cruise ships, their food used to be really fabulous and really top notch, and they're just finding ways to cut corners and save time and save man hours, and Disney is not any different at all. So if you're going there expecting to be wowed by all of the food, I fear you're going to be disappointed because I think there's so much hype around Disney and around the Disney food that everybody thinks it's just over the top amazing, and it's really not. It's really not. Not to mention the amount of food and the amount of sugar. Those table service restaurants, they are huge portions. It's just a ton of food. And if you walk around fully stuffed all the time, you are going to be miserable. And the last thing you want to do is make yourself miserable trying to eat every single dollar that you have spent. So you do have to kind of have that balance and totally be realistic. If you are booking table service restaurant, and then you got to have these 3 snacks all while you're at Magic Kingdom, you're going to hate yourself. And I don't want you to do that. Lack of food can cause meltdowns. Too much food can cause meltdowns, and then you're pushing yourself and you're trying to get everything done. You just need to step it back a little bit. Maybe save some of those table service restaurants or those character dining opportunities for another trip. This does not have to be your once-in-a-lifetime Disney trip. If you really enjoy Disney, you can spread it out. You can go again. You don't have to make it the best thing ever. And I feel like, again, Disney really does that to us. And then we buy into all of this extra stuff that maybe we really don't need. And if we would have said, you know what, I'm going to limit myself and I'm going to just do this trip. And then in a couple of years, we'll come back and we'll do more stuff. Yes, Disney changes all the time. Lands have changed. Everything has changed. Disney is not the same as it was when I took my oldest in 2004. It's not the same when I went in 2001. It's not the same when we went back in 2011. Things change. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Everybody is going to survive. Accept Disney for what it is right now. And enjoy what you have right now. Do a little bit of planning. Keep them loose so that you're not disappointed. And just go and have a great time. My 5th tip for you to avoid the FOMO: make these Disney treats at home. Look at these items realistically and say, you know what? Maybe that is just a chocolate chip cookie. Yes, the Jack Jack Num Num cookie. It's huge, but it's really just a chocolate chip cookie. Okay? I'm going to be doing more Disney treats this summer because it's too freaking hot to go to Disney. Bless your heart if this is the only time that you can go. I may be able to sneak away once, maybe, this summer, but it's just so dang hot. I don't really have any desire to fight the crowds and to try to keep myself hydrated just to go to Disney when it's miserable. I don't have to do that. That's the beauty of being in Florida. I don't have to be there when everybody else is there. I can wait. As much as I want to be in the parks right now, I know that driving 3 hours down there and being, 107-degree heat index, I would rather not do that. Try to make some of these at home. Make them along with me. I've got a couple of recipes already on my YouTube channel, so go ahead and look at those, and I will be adding more. I hope this helps you plan your next Disney vacation. I hope it helps you step back and remove the emotion away from some of the Disney food, because I had a little bit of a panic attack when I saw that all these menus were changed and some of my favorites were gone. I was like, oh. But I also know, okay, realistically, I know I can pretty much copycat and make those at home. So it looks like we're going to be making that Sleepy Hollow chicken and waffle recipe at home, because I don't know, that kale salad really added something to it. Now it's just a Mickey waffle with chicken strips, which granted would be easier to eat, easier to share, tossed in the honey sriracha, which is fabulous. But there's no salad, there's no green stuff. And that really elevated the whole dish, in my opinion. So I'll just make it at home. Thanks for tuning in. I'm so glad you were here. I hope this helps you, and I hope to see you on my next video.